Hey, what's going on, guys? The Beldam is back for a brand new video. And this is going to be my review of the long-awaited, to a lot of fans as well as myself, I'm going to review Damon Leone's Terrifier 2. Now, this movie has been so anticipated by a lot of people, particularly people who really did like the original Terrifier. And this movie got a limited theatrical release, and it's doing really well at the box office for being such a fan-funded movie, and it's doing very, very well. I believe the last I heard is past, so it's like up to 5 million at the box office, and I think it's 800,000 for its budget, so that's really good. And I really wanted to see this in theaters. Unfortunately, it was a distance thing, and I was really planning on it, but it's just I had to work, and I just couldn't see it, so I got to watch it. I watched it online this morning. It was like 2 a.m. by the time I finished. And instead of just giving you like a knee-jerk reaction to what I thought of the movie, I wanted to let it sit and really process it and really think about it, and I really wanted to talk about it. And by the way, this is going to be a spoiler-free review. I won't talk any details about the movie. I just want to give you my overall reaction to it and what I thought of it. And as someone who really did like Terrifier, I wanted to just discuss this. Is this movie like a worthy follow-up? Does it really kind of push the limits? And because I've heard, we've all heard it, all of us in the horror community have heard these stories about people who went to see the movie and they were vomiting in their popcorn. They had to be some people were fainting. It was kind of it was a reaction similar to supposedly how people reacted when they first saw The Exorcist when that came out. And as I am a bona fide gore hound, I love gory horror movies. I love psychological stuff too. But the gore, and it takes a lot to really kind of push it to that level for me, because I just seen so much of it, and I love the effects of it more than just it grossing me out or giving me a heart attack or something. So yeah. So Terrifier 2, it's the criticism for the first one is it didn't have a story to it. It was kind of a showcase of effects. And there are great effects in this movie and that movie, but this movie does have kind of a story to it too. It does have it's a more meatier story than the first one, and it focuses on this. Family. We followed this teenager called pull up Letterboxd. We follow our main character named Sienna and her brother Jonathan, and they come across they encounter Art the Clown, and the whole movie this is just a bigger, meaner slasher movie than the first one. The first one was a slasher too, and it had the same. It just this takes that and just completely just explodes. It's it's a saying of this movie is go bigger or go home, and this one goes bigger. It's everything about it just feels bigger. the kills in the first one were like, they were vicious. But this one is just like, it's, wow. I don't want to overhype this movie. When I went into it, like, so I was hearing from, like, the horror circles I'm in, is how, like, gruesome and gory and, like, this movie was. And I was just like, and I wanted to go into this movie just, like, with realistic expectations. I wanted to keep it realistic. I wanted to enjoy the movie, but I just didn't want those expectations to kind of overshadow, like, what the movie was actually giving me. And so I watched it with those expectations in check. And damn. This movie is very, very vicious. The kills in this are just, it's incredible, really. It's like, Art is like, in this movie, he's no holds barred. He completely eviscerates these people. And I was like, this is fucking awesome. Like, really, I really did like the approach to this movie. And I kind of have a, like I said, there is a story in this movie as well. And the story is with Sienna's family, and her, like, family dynamic is really interesting. Because the mother in this movie is, I guess you would call her loving. She obviously loves her kids, but she's very kind of almost a strict parental type, you know? She's very strict, and there's like a lot of, there's a plot to this movie where the father of this family, or the husband, he apparently committed suicide because because it's in near the end, he was going, I'm going to try to keep this spoiler free. I would just will say that there were some issues with, like, the father, and then that, like, kind of, it pulls into the family dynamic a little. And when you see it, you'll know what I mean. It's just like, it's kind of like a dark thing. It's essentially kind of like almost a broken family arc. And there's a really interesting thing about this movie is because Art keeps seeing this I guess this like little girl version of him. And he's kind of like her. He's like a mini Harley Quinn to his Joker. That's how I would put it. And man, like this is just freaking. It was just awesome, and I thought the ending was really interesting. Like the way they're gonna go into the ending, if this movie could be summed up as like, I don't want to make like, I'm trying to make comparisons because they're different movies, but like, if this movie could be considered like the Halloween Kills of this franchise, I think Terrifier 3, because they want to make a Terrifier 3. That movie could, like, the way they go with the ending of this, that could potentially be, like, very divisive for a lot of people. I'm not quite sure yet, but that's kind of how I saw it. But overall, I would say this movie absolutely delivers. I think it's just an entertaining. It's just a solid slasher. It's so meaty and brutal. And for a sequel to Terrifier, this is kind of where I really liked it. It's hard to say which one I prefer more. I really do like the first Terrifier, But I think I have to rewatch this one again to kind of make that full statement of which one I prefer. This one obviously has the better story, but the first one is just like a simple like showcase slasher of effects. So I would give this movie, and this is just my first reaction to it, I'm going to give this movie a 4.5 out of 5 stars. Or a rose where we're going, we don't need rose. I would highly recommend you check this out as soon as you can. Like, if you can't catch it in theaters, buy it when it comes on Blu-ray. That is, if you're the type of person who can handle these kind of effects where I will tell you right now, there's a lot of blood in this movie. I mean, a lot. And there's also like a lot of just like the goriest imagery. So if you're the kind of person that actually can handle this kind of like the kind of images, I would say definitely recommend it. So yeah, that's my review of Terrifier. I really enjoyed it. Again, without any spoilers. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. We only got 8 more days till Halloween. So, I hope you guys have a safe and happy Halloween. And I will see you soon with a new video.